This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Wednesday, May 1st, 2024. I'm Kate Sharon. The Adams County Economic Development Corporation is launching a program designed not only to expand housing throughout the county, but also provide financial assistance to homebuyers. Executive Director Colton Bickle says the Hoosier Homes Initiative is targeted at both first-time homebuyers and current homeowners looking to find a new home.
And what it can do is it will offer up to 5% down payment assistance for you. And so it's just a way to help essentially that barrier to entry of purchasing either your first home or buying a new home, helps lower that barrier to entry by providing down payment assistance.
Bickle said a recent market analysis shows the county could add and fill between 70 and 90 new housing units each year, and that could be a mix of single-family homes and multifamily units. The Chandler Motor Speedway property in southwest Indiana has once again been sold at auction. Our partners at WEHT-TV report the 131-acre property was sold for $490,000, though the future of the property remains a mystery. The court-ordered auction was held Tuesday by William Wilson Auction and Realty Incorporated, and the property was sold to creditors who submitted the winning bid, the station reported. The property includes a 1/8 mile drag strip and an oval dirt track. However, the track has been closed for several years due to ongoing financial struggles. An Evansville-based startup that has developed an aeroponic smart garden appliance is the winner of this year's Hunger Tech Innovation Challenge from Agrinovus, Indiana. Anu, formerly known as GrowPod, took home the $25,000 prize, which was awarded at last week's TechPoint Mira Awards Gala in Indianapolis. The challenge is a 4-week accelerator to support entrepreneurs to create businesses that work to ensure increased and equitable food distribution in an environmentally sustainable and economically viable way. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Indiana, your bold future starts here. IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the Engage Indiana series, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. With an unrelenting focus on growing Indiana's economy, our Engage Indiana events take place in every region of the state. Discover when we'll be in your area at ibj.com/engage.
The Midwest's biggest flea market is open for the 2024 season. Located in the heart of Indiana's Amish country, the Shipshewana Flea Market will feature about 700 vendors located on 40 acres at the Shipshewana Trading Place as the season progresses. The flea market historically attracts guests locally, nationally, and internationally. Laura Gates, Marketing Director of Shipshewana Trading Place.
But you'll find everything and anything from the foods and perfumes and paper goods and all sorts. There's anything and everything.
The flea market opens every Tuesday and Wednesday between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Tourists stay in town for about a day and a half on average, she said. The city's visitor center also notes an uptick in business activities on those days. Gates projects there will be about 400,000 visitors this year, with a daily average parking of about 1,700 cars, a number that doubles for Memorial Day and Labor Day weekends. The Indiana High School Athletic Association Board this week approved full recognition for boys volleyball and girls wrestling beginning in the 2024-25 academic year. The two sports were previously added as emerging sports by the IHSAA in 2022. By receiving full recognition, the IHSAA will now establish state tournaments for both sports and says details on those events will be announced in the coming months. Decades ago, non-compete agreements weren't all that common, but over time, as their use has grown, so too has the scrutiny of the practice, which now extends beyond specialized positions down to employees at sandwich shops. State lawmakers have been wrestling with the agreements for years. Now, a huge ruling from the Federal Trade Commission could ban the use of non-competes for all but the highest earners if it survives legal scrutiny. Doing so could reduce the number of Americans employed under such a contract from roughly 19%, though some research suggests that number is closer to 50 to 1%. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration is moving toward reclassifying marijuana as a less dangerous drug. The Justice Department proposal would recognize the medicinal uses of cannabis, but wouldn't legalize it for recreational use. The proposal must be reviewed by the White House Office of Management and Budget and then undergo a public comment period and review from an administrative judge, a potentially lengthy process. Agronovus Indiana CEO Mitch Frazier is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, entertainment, and beyond, available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Kate Sharon for Inside Indiana Business, radio on demand.